Hi, my name is Marilyn Collins, and I want to talk to you about learning to receive. Sometimes we have our slowing down is important, and it becomes very healing. There are moments in life when the pace, our pace is just changed immediately. It's abrupted. When our bodies, their circumstances, we can insist. Our bodies insist that we stop, and sometimes I you can't continue to go on your own strength. And I recently found myself in that season. So the question I have you as you listen to this is, when has your life been abruptly interrupted? I am Marilyn Collins, and I'm the board chair and founder of the Motherless Ministry. And I'm excited to talk to you today about this. And I want to, as all motherless daughters do, we apologize ahead of time whenever we're going to cry. And what I want to tell you that as I wrote this and recorded this, it brought me to tears. So periodically, I am going to tear up. And I just ask for your grace in between that we can walk through this together. I do want to hear from you. I want to hear any comments that you have to say. But there are moments when our pace is abruptly interrupted. Our bodies, our circumstances insist that we stop running on our own strength. I found myself in a season like this after a series of health issues. I had 3 hospital stays within 2 months to slow my heart rate down. It was going so fast. And I came face to face with something I resisted, and that's the need to depend on others. As I lay in the hospital bed, surrounded by machines that hum my rhythm, and believe me, I was going fast. So it hummed very fast. I realized how hard it is to let others take care of me. I'm always the strong one. I'm the organizer. I'm the encourager. I'm the one that people call when they are in need. But now the roles are reversed, and I had to release control and accept care. It was humbling, uncomfortable, and at times frightening, yet it was also sacred. For us motherless daughters, we this lesson in dependence, it can be very hard. Many of us learn early in life to take care of ourselves, whether our mothers died or were emotionally unavailable. We became self-reliant out of necessity. We learned to survive without that nurturing presence that most people take for granted. Independence became our armor. It protected us from disappointment, from vulnerability, or needing someone who might not show up. But life has a way of bringing us full circle. When we can no longer keep the pace, when our bodies whisper or shout, in my case, that it's time to rest, we are invited to revisit some of those old lessons. In my case, slowing down my heart rate meant slowing down my life. It meant acknowledging I can't do everything, and I was never meant to. But there's always a fear depending on others. It's a quiet fear, and we've all experienced it. It's the fear that if we depend on someone, they might not show, they might be there. If we lean too hard, they may not be strong enough to hold us. And we build our lives out of careful self sufficiency. We help others, we lead, we nurture, but we rarely allow ourselves to be the ones in need. When I was hospitalized, that fear surfaced for me again. Letting people help me felt like losing control. But underneath that resistance was grief. The little girl inside of me longed for a mother's care, the kind that says, rest, I've got you. Without realizing, I have been trying to be that mother for everyone else while denying that part of myself needs that same compassion. Depending on others felt foreign, almost dangerous. Yet, the more I allowed it, the more I discovered that vulnerability doesn't weaken us, it deepens us. It reminds us that love is meant to be a two-way exchange. We can't always be the giver, and sometimes we're called to receive. Think about slowing down, it becomes spiritual. Slowing down is not just a a physical act, it's a spiritual one too. When my doctors have worked hard to lower my heart rate, they aren't always they're not treating only my body. They are, in a way, giving me a spiritual prescription. God was asking me to pause, to breathe, and to listen. And I'm not out of the woods yet, I want to tell you. In our fast paced world, productivity becomes our identity. Mine too. I mean, my identity. How much do you get time? Check. But when we're forced to slow down through illness, loss, or any kind of life's unexpected changes, we have an opportunity to rediscover who we are apart from the doing. As I rested, I began to notice small things. I began to sense God's presence, not in my activity, but in my stillness. It was as if He whispered, "You don't have to hold everything together. Let me hold you." That same whisper speaks to every woman who's carried the weight of mother loss. We've held ourselves together for so long through grief, through milestones we've faced without her, through moments when we longed for guidance that never came. But we are not meant to live life braced for impact. Slowing down gives us space to soften, to receive the care you've always given others. Community, one of the unexpected gifts of depending on others, is rediscovering that community. In the Motherless Daughters ministry, I've seen that same truth unfold. Women arrive carrying the burden of loss, believing they must navigate it alone. But as they open up and allow others into their stories, healing begins to multiply. When one woman speaks the truth, another woman nods in recognition. That's the beauty of shared dependence. It builds bridges where isolation once stood. Think of that. Depending on others doesn't make us weak, it makes us whole. It allows others to use their gifts to be present in our lives in ways that both enrich the giver and the receiver. In fact, it mirrors the very heart of God's design. When we would live independent, interdependent, connected, and cared for, there's a profound humility when we learn to receive grace. When we realize we can't control everything, not our health, not our grief, not the pace of life, it's that humility that opens the door to peace. It invites us to trust even when we are still. Life continues to unfold as it should. I'm learning to slow down, to rest, and to lean into others when mine wavers. Some days I do it well, some days I don't do it very well, but I'm learning that my worth isn't found in how much I do. It's found in being loved just as I am, even when I can't keep up. In closing, I want to say that mother loss teaches us that life can change in an instant. My health reminded me of that truth again, but it also reminded me that even when everything seems to slow down, Even when we are forced to pause, love continues. It still comes through prayers, through friends, through quiet reassurance. We're not alone. Slowing down for me has become a necessity and a gift. It has taught me to trust, to receive, and to see dependence not as a weakness, but as a sacred rhythm. Maybe, maybe, just maybe, that's how healing really happens when we finally let go, slow down, and allow others to hold us in the way we once longed for our mothers to do. So, as I close, my prayer for you is you can learn to receive when your life is abruptly interrupted. Thank you so much. And I didn't cry too much, did I? I cried a lot when I was rehearsing this. So maybe I worked hard at getting my tears out. Goodbye.